Alright guys, now that we know how to interpret this, I just want to revisit and explain the input mode. We've already briefly mentioned it in a previous video, but it's easier to explain it if you have at least a little bit of an idea of what's going on. So now that we know how to interpret this, let's see what the input mode is. Right now you have three modes. You have manual, P1 automatic, and P2 automatic. Manual simply means that, again, we know we have an input value for this graph that determines the metric and also the formatting here, so what's right and what's blue. Manual simply means that it takes whatever value you have put in here. So right now it's negative 2.99. If I do negative 1.66 or something, or negative 1.67, we can see that it takes that over from this right here, right? So manual input simply means that this value is taken from this box right here. This box does nothing, and it's like often a point of confusion because people will put it to P1 automatic and they will often say, well, this thing is not doing anything. And that's simply because this P1 automatic or P2 automatic, well, we'll get to what they do, but if you don't have manual selected, it does not take the data from here. Right, so it does not take the data from here. This becomes irresponsive. It's important to note. P1 automatic simply takes the current distance of the daily open to the current P1. So the distance of daily open to the current P1, sorry, and puts it in here, right? So we can see that the distance of daily open to the current P1 is 0.6%. Let's see that, right? Oh, right here, 0.6, and then it takes that as a metric. At this point, you're probably wondering, why are we using P1 automatic? What do we do with that? I personally don't use it that much. Maybe you will find I just put it in there because it seems like a logical functionality to have. Maybe you will find a way to estimate, where you say, well, this is now in a high probability area, so I think it's good P1. I personally don't use this setting at all. I've also explained in the previous tutorial of determining P1, P2 flip, right? Determining the likelihood of P1 holding. We didn't use this one, we used P2 automatic. Because we're interested in the current we're not interested in the current distance daily open to current P1. Again, I'm not saying there's no use case here, just that personally I'm not using it for it, but maybe you will find it. All you need to know is that it will take the current distance of daily open to the current P1. If you do P2 automatic, we've already seen it, it will take the distance of the daily open to the current P2, negative 4.1%, negative 4.1%, and you see that here, right, negative 4.1%. So it is important to realize how this is being evaluated. Again, this now is not working because we have automated selected, and we've already seen in the last tutorial that this is the setting you want to use, or the input mode you want to use when determining the likelihood of a P1, P2 flip. So most often this is probably the input mode you will be using. But if you want to mess around, do some back testing or whatever, then all you have to do is set this to manual, and then you can use this input field right here to determine what this is. With that said, there's by the way, there's one more. It also inputs, if you have this set to automatic, this also gets automatically populated, but I'm gonna cover that in a later video because it will make more sense if you know how this works. So we'll get there. Don't worry about it yet. But for now, the most important thing to understand is that it will take, especially for this graph, P2 automatic takes this distance, P1 automatic take this distance, and manual takes this distance right here. So that's already it. In the next video, we're gonna discuss filter mode.